If you got those two, though, you're going to sit it out? Or you're going to go...
Oh, if it's Biden, Trump, look, for me, again, we survived a Trump administration. Would we survive another one? Yes. Yes. I don't think there's any greater risk to America with him than with Biden. And for people who are now going to attack me and say, what are you talking about? Trump is like this crazy man. Well, look, you know, as Patrick says, the data is the data. Nobody was trying to kill us when Trump was president in a way that they're not now. If anything, there's more hostility. And you can have reasons for that any way you want. I'm just saying, existentially, I'm not afraid of a Trump presidency. Existentially, I'm not afraid of another Biden presidency because, unlike many people in America, I believe that the country is much stronger than any individual leader. We survived the Russia thing. We survived January 6th. We survived having Biden as a gaffe machine. We survived Congress going after each other and doing nothing for the rest of us. We survive these things. Are we better for it? No. Should we be doing things differently? Yes. I think it happens. I don't know when. I don't even know why. But, you know, in terms of who I'm going to vote for, I would really have to see where we are at that moment in time. And
so you're open to Trump vote?
I am always open. And I'll tell you this. People say, oh, bullshit, you've never voted for a Republican in your life. Wrong. And not only have I, the first vote I ever cast was for a Republican.
All right, so now there's another one. First it was Michael Rappaport, and now it's Chris Cuomo. Another person coming after Biden for their own personal vendetta. Guys that rallied and riled against Trump like no other for 4 years, 6 years, maybe more. Made him out to be the devil himself on a nightly basis, day in, day out, night in, night out. Controversial show after controversial tweet or text or TikTok. And first, Michael Rappaport, I don't know what his beef is with Biden. I think he blames Israel on Biden. I don't know how. Biden has done nothing but speak out for Israel since it started. And you got Chris Cuomo, who I think blames Biden because his brother got canned as the governor of New York. I mean, listen, the guy said, yeah, you need to step down. There's too many allegations. And Chris Cuomo just couldn't handle that. So all of his integrity, all of his years at CNN of like lamenting with Don Lemon over and over and over that Donald Trump is the devil himself. Because he didn't just rally 100% beside his brother. Now it's like, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. Could be Biden. Could be Trump. Could be the guy that I thought was going to end democracy. But hey, at least you didn't screw over my brother.
All right, guys. So you seen that, you heard that. Okay, that is former CNN news anchor Chris Cuomo, a.k.a. Fredo, who is severely Trump deranged, right? He is saying that even I am open to voting for Trump in 2024. And I want to talk about this clip because this clip is going viral. People are shocked, stunned that a former CNN anchor is openly admitting that, yeah, if it's between Trump and Biden, all options are open, right? All options are open, which he basically did not say that he would not vote for Trump, okay? But he didn't say that he would vote for Trump. In fact, throughout his interview, he made it clear that he's still Trump deranged, even though Patrick Bet-David did a good job of basically pushing back against Cuomo and letting him know that, look, you're a little delusional, you're a little emotional. It's really about policy more than anything, policy and results. And, Chris Cuomo, again, clearly the guy still has some issues with Trump that is keeping him from coming out here and just straight up saying that he would vote for Trump. Take a look.
Chris, if you voted for Trump, you know what they would do to you? They would torture you. Yeah. They would torture you.
Listen, I didn't say I would vote for Trump. I'm saying you have to be open to the circumstances at the time. And to me,
if the alternative is Joe?
Donald Trump, to me, has betrayed the trust and the standard of a leader for America. And he has done it many times over. And that's part of the result structure for me. I can't just look at the economy and migration at the southern border. This is a guy who has reinforced too many things that I think are destructive to human life.
So what's more?
So I would have to see where are we in the state of play at that time, and what is he offering? Has he changed it all? But I got to be open. But I'm telling you, if he's depending on me to win, he's not in good shape.
So if it was like, if you're thinking about the risk of crossing the border and that guy, build a wall and we're not going to let him build a wall, and now Biden wants to build a wall because like almost every policy they stopped, they're bringing it back. Like it's validating.
But the wall was always a distraction. What made the difference under Trump was two things. One, people believed they were going to have bad outcomes if they came to America with Trump. And that was impactful in keeping them away. Now, you can make the argument that that's not the message America should be sending out, but it was true. Two, was the deals that they cut with the home countries and with Mexico that Biden got rid of as soon as he came in to do that stupid thing that one administration does when it beats another, to erase the legacy as much as they can. It was a huge mistake. And what Trump didn't do, even though he had the political clout and numbers to do it, was do all these other things that CBP has been begging for, to change the rules, to change the processing capabilities, the housing capabilities. Instead, it devolved into this bullshit sanctuary cities and the wall and the brown menace and the bad hombres. And that's all cheap demagoguery that didn't fix it. He could have fixed it and didn't.
The world is a shit show today because nobody fears our president. And if we had another Biden, all the people that you want to do good for, they would get destroyed under another Biden because nobody fears nor respects Biden.
Yeah, so you've seen that, you heard that. Now, clearly, Chris Cuomo is still Trump deranged. But yet, again, he still declared that he's open to voting for Trump. Okay, now, again, it seems like it's unlikely that Chris Cuomo would vote for Trump. But again, he hasn't closed the door in regards to voting for Trump. And again, this is a big deal, and I'm going to explain to you guys why it's a big deal. But you know it's a big deal because Chris Cuomo was confronted on his own network by Dan Abrams on the fact that he said that he is open to voting for Trump. And this is how that exchange went down. Take a look.
Back up. Put up the headline again from Mediaite, which is
don't give Mediaite the attention. Don't put it up.
Which is a website.
Don't give Mediaite any attention.
That I happen to own, and they put up that because I was going to ask you about this anyway. By the way, it does feel like you're kind of like backing off of what you said.
It feels like it. Is that what it feels like?
Let me make my case and then you respond. All right.
Go
so
ahead.
you were right at the top of the show when you said more context. Right. Your point was that you were critical of Donald Trump in other parts of the interview. But you were asked a very specific question, which is, so you're open to a Trump vote? And your response was, I'm always open. And then you went further than that. Mm-hmm. You even said, and I'll tell you this, people say, oh, BS, you've never voted for a Republican in your life. Mm-hmm. Wrong. Not only have I, the first vote I ever cast was for a Republican. Your point was that you're open. Was it not? I mean, is that unfair?
The point is that everybody should be open because, again, context. Patrick was making the point that the data makes it an open, closed, or shut case. Can't vote for Biden. Trump was better by all these different metrics. You know, he goes on. Very smart guy. And my point was, listen, it's well known that for me, with the former president, it's in part personal. He made life very hard when he weaponized me, went after my family. So for me, and then Patrick said, I'm just about policy. And I was like, please. And we had a little eye roll moment. And then I said, look, it's not my place to tell people who to vote for. I do not believe in the argument that you can't vote for Trump because America will end. I don't believe in the argument that you can't vote for Biden. He's non-compos mentis and America will end. I don't believe in that. Am I open? Yes, I'm open. I then followed it by saying a part that you mysteriously missed, where I said, if Donald Trump is banking on me for re-election, he's got trouble. Right. Why? Because he's not my guy, and I've said it a million different times and ways, but it's not my place to tell people to vote for. Your outlet and a lot of other ones did what you often criticize, which is they didn't contact me. They didn't want context.
Wait. Why do they need to contact you? What is there to contact you about? Really? You said what you said in the interview. It speaks for itself. What do they have to contact you about? It does not speak for itself,
and that's why. Put the headline back up.
Put it back up.
Put the headline back up. Chris Cuomo says he'd consider voting for Trump. I'm always open, single quote on each side. I never said I would consider voting for Trump. I said I'm open.
Well,
he said, that is a so are you open to voting for Trump? I said I'm always open. I did not say open to voting for Trump.
Guys, you see the walk back, right? You see the walk back because like Patrick Bet-David was saying in that interview, right? To Chris Cuomo was like, yo, if people know that you're open for voting for Trump, like your side is they're gonna destroy you, right? They're gonna come after you. When, again, clearly Chris Cuomo said that he's open to voting for Trump. Anybody that has a reasonable interpretation, right, of listening to what Chris Cuomo was saying would take away from what Chris Cuomo said, which is that, hey, yeah, this guy, yeah, he's open to voting for Trump. Now he goes in this interview with Dan Abrams, okay, and he says, well, I said I was open. I didn't say I was considering. Like, is that really, like, is there any difference, right? Like, is it really different for me to say, hey, well, you know, I'm open to voting for the guy, but I'm not considering voting for him? Like, how does that make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. If you're open to voting for him, that means he's in consideration, right? Being open to voting for him means that you're actively considering voting for him. You can't be open to voting for somebody unless you are considering them. If I'm not considering somebody or voting for somebody, then I'm not open to voting for them, right? Like, I mean, it's really that simple. Like, I'm not considering voting for Biden, which means I'm not open to voting for Biden. Now, if I was open to voting for Biden, then I would be considering voting for Biden. However, again, because I'm not considering voting for Biden, I'm not open to voting for Biden, right? So, again, it's hilarious to watch this dude try to backtrack on something that he clearly said in the interview, right? And when asked to expand on it, he expanded on it multiple times. He could have just flat out said, no, I'm not going to vote for Trump, right? He could have said that. He said, well, is it likely that I will vote for Trump? You know, probably not, right? He shouldn't rely on my vote to win. But that doesn't mean that you're not open to it. And again, this is it's so funny to me because the reason why he's backtracking, because he knows how the liberal left reacts, right? The Trump deranged liberal left reacts to that, right? The fact that he's even open to voting for Trump is terrible, right? It's a terrible thing. Liberals are upset, right? They're upset and they're outraged over Chris Cuomo being open to voting for Trump, because as a liberal, right, you're never supposed to be open to voting for Orange Man, even though from a policy perspective, the country was in a much better place under Orange Man than Sleepy Joe, right? And even Chris Cuomo knows that, okay? The fact that he's even considering it tells you everything you need to know. Again, you got Michael Rappaport, okay, who came out and said, yeah, I might vote for Trump, right? Straight up. And then you had Cardi B come out and, you know, basically trash the Biden administration and Democrats, okay, when it came to budget cuts and sending money overseas. All these people who are hardcore Democrats, and I would throw Chris Cuomo in there as well, too. Okay, he said he voted for Republican for the first time, blah, blah, blah. But we know he's on Team Liberal. All these people who are on Team Liberal, on Team Democrat, they're now, all of them are now basically saying, well, hey, I'm kind of open to vote for Trump, which is terrible news for Joe Biden, right? That is absolutely terrible news. It tells you everything you need to know. Just the fact that Chris Cuomo did not come out and say, no, under any circumstances, I would not vote for Trump. That is terrible for Democrats. That is terrible for Biden. It tells you everything you need to know about how people consider the state of this country under Joe Biden. Even the most Trump deranged Democrats are now looking at Trump and saying, I don't think that guy was that bad, right? This is why I say, look, I think the main difference between the 2020 election and the 2024 election is going to be the fact that you're not going to have Trump deranged liberals come out and vote against Trump. Okay, I think one of the main factors in regards to the 2020 election, along with other things as well too, guys. Okay, I know there'll be that person in the comment section that says, oh, well, this happened and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But when you look at the people and why they voted, none of these people actually were Joe Biden fans. Okay, Joe Biden does not have a hardcore base that is going to ride or die for him no matter what. Like, they love Joe Biden. Nobody loves Joe Biden. They just hated Trump. And that's how Joe Biden won, okay? Because he had a ton of people that voted for him, not because they like him, but because they hated Trump. They thought that in the middle of COVID, Trump was the reason why everything was so bad and so terrible, right? not knowing that the policies that Democrats were supporting at the time actually was the reason why the country was in a terrible place. And Trump wanted to open back up the country. Okay, maybe he made a mistake of not forcing the Democrat governors to open back up their states. Maybe he made that mistake. But again, regardless, they were bamboozled and hoodwinked thinking that Trump's policies and the direction that Trump wanted to take the country was the reason why the country was in such a bad place. Oh, he handled the pandemic so bad. Again, just to come to find out a few years later that opening up the country and that we should have opened up the country a lot sooner than we did. Had we opened up the country and stopped spending money, okay, then we would have been in a much better place when it comes to inflation, when it comes to education, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to interest rates, when it comes to all types of issues that are plaguing this country right now. We would have been in a much better place had we opened up the country a lot sooner and stopped spending money, right? Because best believe, if Republicans had won, okay, that Senate election, yeah, Mitch McConnell was not going to allow this country to continue to spend trillions and trillions of dollars, right, on stimulus packages. It wasn't going to happen, okay? So with that being said, I think a lot of people are looking back at it and saying, well, look, under Trump, at least before COVID, everything was great. We was in a much better place. Under Biden, he didn't fix any of these things that he claimed was so bad and that was happening because of Trump. In fact, things got worse. And I think that just that objective reality is going to take away the main strength of the Democrats when it comes to, going up against Trump, which is the fact that there are a ton of people in this country that are severely Trump deranged that literally will just vote against Trump. I don't think they're going to have that same effect in 2024. I really don't. I think they'll have some people that will do that, but I don't think that people who are more moderate, who are more closer to the center, like, Chris Cuomo, he's a liberal, but he's a classical liberal, right? I put him in there in the same boat with Bill Maher, okay? I'll throw him in there. Like, he probably has less Trump derangement than Bill Maher. I think that's the difference between him and Bill Maher, okay? He has a slightly less Trump derangement, right? Still liberal, slightly less Trump derangement, more open-minded, right? I think he's a more kind of nuanced guy. In this same interview, he basically said, look, I don't believe January 6th was an insurrection, okay? I believe that maybe some of the people that entered the Capitol are being, overcharged or whatever, but I don't think it was an inside job, right? Like, so he's more kind of towards the middle on some of these issues. Again, not as Trump deranged as, a lot of these people in the media, right? So, again, he's one of these guys that I can see going to vote and just secretly vote for Trump, saying, you know what, things on the Biden have just been too bad. I don't like Trump, but damn it, I'm gonna vote for him, or I just won't vote at all, right? Or I just won't vote for any one of them, okay? Which, again, that's a win for Trump, right? And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I think what's gonna happen in 2024 is that you're gonna have some people who will switch over to Trump. They'll secretly vote Trump. I'm not saying it will be a ton of people, but I do think that more so than anything, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be like, you know what? I don't like Trump or Biden. I'm going to sit out. And these are Democrats, right? These are Democrats. And there'll be some Republicans that'll do that too, okay? But I think there are going to be fewer Republicans that do that. And the Republicans that do that, they weren't going to vote for Trump anyways, right? They weren't going to vote for Trump, and they aren't going to vote for Biden. They'll vote third party. It'll be a wash, okay, at the end of the day. But I do think that if that's the case, if you have a ton of Democrats that are saying, I'm going to sit out, I'm not going to vote for Trump or Biden, again, that's a win for Trump. 100% that's a win for Trump, okay? Because the less Democrats that vote for Biden, the increased chance of Trump winning, because Trump has an actual core base. Trump has people that are voting for him because they actually like him. Joe Biden doesn't have anybody that's voting for him because they actually like him, right? I'm so serious. So I think that's the difference, man. And I think, when you listen to somebody like Chris Cuomo talk, the fact that, again, this guy is a liberal, 100%. He's a classical liberal. He's a part of mainstream liberal media. He is severely Trump deranged, but despite all that, he's still open to vote for Trump. Now, again, he's trying to walk it back. Oh, I didn't say I was considering voting for Trump. Nah, you are, right? That's exactly what you said. The fact that he's even open to voting for Trump tells you everything you need to know about how a lot of people on the left who may be more moderate towards middle are feeling about Joe Biden. And that's why I think you're seeing the independent numbers show up the way you are. I mean, again, Trump's dominating when it comes to the independent numbers. Okay, people talk about, Trump turns off independent voters. Well, you know what turns off independent voters more than Trump? Biden's economy, right? The state of Biden's country turns off independent voters more than Trump. And that's showing up in the poll numbers. That's showing up when you see people like Chris Cuomo say that he's open to voting for Trump. When Michael Rappaport, who's a, hardcore leftist, hey, I'm open to voting for Trump. I might vote for Trump. Cardi B coming out here, saying what she's saying. Again, when you're seeing this type of stuff, it tells you that what's a turnoff more than anything is the actual state of the country and the results. Okay? The rhetoric will never beat the actual results. Now, again, of course, we always have to worry about the abortion issue because we do have a certain portion of this country that will vote Democrat no matter what because they want to preserve their right to abortion. But if Republicans can straighten things out, right, on that issue, okay, if they can make that issue a non-factor some way, then I think that it's gonna be a good year, okay, in 2024 with Trump at the top of the ticket if they can just straighten out that issue. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.